Welcome back to another Out of the Park video. In today's video, I am going to go through the 3 finalists for the teams I'm thinking of doing for my Out of the Park 23 sim. Now, I am doing this on the beta version. I'm recording this a little in advance because normally I would probably wait till the new one was out, but I'm going to be traveling this weekend. So I'm recording a few in advance so I can get these out to you here. So if you've watched my channel before, you know in Out of the Park 21, I did a long-term Orioles sim. 22, I did a Phillies sim. So who do I do in 23? I've got it narrowed down to 3 teams. Before I go into that, if you're new to the channel here, you can look, go ahead and subscribe if you'd like more Out of the Park content. You can also get more bonus Out of the Park content and baseball content by going to the description of this video and going to my Patreon page. So I don't want to do another full rebuild. I did a full rebuild with the Orioles in 21. So like the Oakland A's, they're out. They're like in a full rebuild and they've traded away their best trade chips. They're basically where the Orioles were like 2 or 3 years ago when Elias and company came in and took over, and they traded everybody. They traded Manny, Gossman, etc. But they were still in like full teardown mode. The A's are kind of there, so I'm not going to do them. The Rockies, I think I don't think they realize it, but they're rebuilding. So they're out. I will say, there are a bunch of teams that fall into the category of teams I'm considering, but I'm going to tell you about the 3 that I'm most likely to use. I also don't want to do another big market team. I did that with the Phillies, and it was a totally different feel for me, totally different experience. It was the first time I'd played with even a top 10 market probably, and the Phillies are like a top 5, I think, when the game picked up with payroll. So I'm not going to do big market. So what I'm looking for is a small to mid-market team that is kind of on the cusp, right? Like they're not tearing it down. They've kind of already torn it down, or they're, even if they didn't go through a full rebuild, they're kind of about, they're on the cusp, on the precipice of a winning window. So that's my criterion. Like I said, there are a lot of teams, not a lot, there are more than 3 teams that fall into this bucket, but these are the 3 that I find the most interesting at this point. If you want to make your argument for why a different team would be more interesting in the comments, go for it. But it's probably not going to sway me. So I will do this in the order that I'm ranking these teams of how likely I am to choose them. The 3rd most likely team is the Baltimore Orioles. Now, my main hesitation with the Orioles is that I did them 2 years ago. Now, they are my favorite team. I know a lot about their system. I know a good bit about their team. I'm familiar, I go to their player development team, and I'm familiar with pretty much every player on this page, every player in this list. So that's cool for me. I think it would be a totally different sim than Out of the Park 21, right? Obviously some of the names would be the same, like Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Ryan Mountcastle, guys who were big pieces of my 21 sim would be here, but I think it's a much different approach. But that being said, it's if I do a different franchise, then there's the chance that it's somebody else's favorite team who watches my channel, right? People who watch my channel, who the Orioles are the favorite team, they've already kind of have that sim out there. So I thought it would be cool to maybe spread the love around a little bit. But the Orioles are super interesting. They've got the number 2 system according Out of the Park, number 1 according to MLB Pipeline, and I believe Fangraphs. So take that, Out of the Park, guys. They've got Adley Rutschman, they've got Grayson Rodriguez. I mean, just a really good farm system. They've got Cedric Mullins in center field with his 75 range. They do still have like a couple more pieces you probably want to trade away, like Trey Mancini, probably want to trade him. And you might want to think about trading John Means too. Some of these guys who you might be able to get guys who will be around for more of your winning window. That being said, Means is under team control for a couple more years. You might want to keep him around as a pitcher, but they have some interesting they have some really interesting pieces. They're an interesting spot. I think they're in a spot where within the next year or two, within the next year probably, really, at most 2, they're going to start to supplement their major league roster with established big league players to come in and build around, like Rutschman once he's up here, Mountcastle, Mullins, Hayes, maybe Santander, McKenna, some other guys in the system, Colton Cowser, Grayson Rodriguez, and DL Hall are going to be coming up. Like, this is a super exciting time to be an Orioles fan, and so I kind of want to take over them. But I'm sensitive to the fact that I did this just in Out of the Park 21. That's the main argument against that. If I hadn't done that, I think the Orioles would be a lock. Number 2 team is the Detroit Tigers. And I'll tell you, the number 1 reason, it's my wife's favorite team. My wife is cool with me filming Out of the Park videos and playing this game when, I could be doing other things, or she could be asking me to do other things. We've got a little baby around the house. She still lets me record these. So, that's the number 1 reason, as, like, thanks for letting me still do this. Not letting me, but thanks for being cool with it, encouraging me to do it. And I think the Tigers are in an interesting spot too. I think they're also on the cusp of possibly being competitive. I think they need some of their arms to pan out, like Casey Mize, Matt Manning. I don't know about this Eduardo Rodriguez deal, the Javi Baez deal. Basically, I'm a little skeptical on too, basically because of that eye. The Miguel Cabrera contract is a serious problem. But yeah, I think this is a fun team. They've got the 5th best system in baseball. They've got Torque. They've got Riley Green. It's a fun team. How long do they have Riley Green out for? 4 months. Is that how long he's out for in real life? It's a bummer. I didn't realize it was that long. Dylan Dingler, which is just like an all-time great baseball name. And is this Jackson Jobe or Jackson Joby? Either way, another freaking great baseball name. Either option works. I mean, this guy, never heard of him, but Kingston Liniak, yeah, I'm in on this name too. How did you come to this team? There's nothing in your history. Do they not have history for do you have Torques? Oh, yeah, okay, got it there. So I think they're in a similar spot to the Orioles, except they've kind of already made a few of their big moves, right? They made their big move with Baez. They made a pretty significant move with Eduardo. They brought in, where is he? Austin Meadows, right? They signed Chafin. They brought in Barnhart, right? They kind of, like, what I expect the Orioles to do over the next season or two, the Tigers just did in this last offseason. So I don't think they're by any means yet a contender and a World Series threat, but they've kind of already made some of their big strikes towards taking that. Now it's about waiting for, like, Torque to develop and Green to develop and Mize and Manning and all these guys to come up. They've already brought in the talent from outside. While they might make other moves, I'm sure they'll continue to supplement their team from outside the organization. But I think, like, Baez will still be the centerpiece of their offense, of their, Meadows and Baez, in terms of guys who aren't coming up through their organization, like, are going to be the centerpiece of their offense. I don't see them going out and adding, like, another, like, $25 to $30 million contract or whatever Baez is making, $20 million, and then I think 22, right? Yeah, 25. So that kind of takes some of the fun out of it, but still a team in a very interesting spot. And like we said, most importantly, my wife's favorite team, and I love my wife, so maybe I'll do it for her, even though she probably won't really pay attention to it at all, actually. So who is the team I'm most likely to be? Like, if I were starting my sim today, who would I be? And let me just say, I'm not starting my sim today. I think I will give it a few patches. Maybe I'll give it like 3 weeks. I know with Out of the Park 22, I didn't start my thing until like June or something. And the game was out in March. Part of that was I was waiting on a new computer that was super delayed coming in, but also I was waiting for some of the bugs to get weeded out. So I think I'll start this in like 2 to 4 weeks is my time window. But so my thinking could change, and maybe your comments will sway me. They probably won't. Last year I did a poll of four teams that I was thinking of being, and said, what team would you like me to be? And coincidentally, I went with the team that came in last in the poll, just because it was the team I wanted to be. So the team I'm most likely to be, the Kansas City Royals. I think they are maybe like a year ahead of the Orioles. I think they're a lot more competitive. I think they have a much better pitching staff. I think they have a more complete team. Yeah. And they also have Bobby Witt, who is just a super fun player and possible superstar, right? I'm a big fan of him. He's got great hair too. Just a complete package there. Alberto, there it is. Mondesi, won me so many stolen base categories in fantasy baseball for the last 2 to 3 seasons. So I have a soft spot for him. Zach Greinke, have a soft spot for that guy. Brady Singer listed as the number 1 starter. That's interesting. Benintendi, can we get bounce backs? Dozier, they have some fun veterans. Carlos Santana's kind of fun. Sal Perez is fun. Michael Taylor's an excellent center fielder defensively. They've got some pieces in their bullpen like Barlow and Garrett. Their farm system, let's see how that's rated. 3rd, right? And they've got Bobby Witt, of course. MJ Melendez with his 65 catcher ability. That's good enough. Nick Pratto, Alec Marsh, Vinny Pasquantino, who is going to be a beast. Pick him up in your fantasy leagues. Asa Lacy, former fake Orioles legend. Alec Marsh is who? When did they draft him? No data found. Why there's no data found on a bunch of these guys? Were these guys who were signed like was he no, he's rookie ball 2019. I was thinking maybe it was guys who were in the 2020 draft and like the 5-round draft or whatever, and they didn't get drafted and they were signed, but it doesn't look like it's that. So yeah, so the Sal Perez contract I think is a bit of a problem at age 31 and only 55 catcher ability. I mean, shout out Sal Perez, he's a beast. He's an 80 overall. But the fans would probably want me, it would be out for blood, but I think I would look to trade Sal Perez pretty early. Did they really sign Hunter Dozier to that deal? Huh. I didn't know he signed so long term. Signed prior to the 2021 season, so it was like pandemic extension. So yeah, I mean, I think this is where I'm gonna go. Oh, I can't offer him an extension because I'm GM of the Orioles in this little fake sim I started up. Yeah, this is what I'm leaning towards. If things don't work out this season, right, you can trade Greinke, Santana, Benintendi. You can trade a bunch of guys, including Sal Perez. And what do they have money-wise? See, they've still got some money to spend. Our payroll looks like it's going to stay the same next year as of now. But like, if you, demanding. He's a demanding owner. Controlling, but he's not a meddler. I think you could make some strikes in free agency. Like you can free up some more money and have like 35, 40 million. And then like when Carlos Correa opts out, and go out and sign him. Now, I don't know if a shortstop makes sense. Bobby Witt. Yeah, he's going to stay at third base in this for me. Third base, or he could play second, but probably a third baseman for me. Who do they have at shortstop? Nicky Lopez, 70 range, and they've got Mondesi with his 70 range at second. That's a pretty good defensive middle infield. And then Michael A. Taylor. I mean, this team up the middle, man, second, short, and center is looking good defensively. This is a Pat Holden team right here. Yeah, just furthering my desire to be the Royals. So I'm curious, what is their like coaching staff looks like? Like their pitching coach is excellent at teaching pitching, good at development. So we'd probably keep Cal Eldred around. Terry Bradshaw is only decent at hitting, so we'd get rid of him. Our scouting director, pretty good, and he's highly favored tools, but I'd rather somebody who can scout amateurs excellent as well. So we'd look for an upgrade there. I'd really like somebody who's legendary preventing arm injuries, but yeah, so decent staff. Mike Matheny, would we keep him around? Yeah, he seems okay. I can't view relationships because it's not my team. So that's the Royals. I think they'd be a really fun team to be. And I think I've kind of laid out my reasons why. And I've also laid out that I'd trade Sal Perez like probably before opening day if I could get rid of his contract. So I think that's justification just to watch the fan reactions. Let's do this. This will be fun. Let's go to Kansas City, and I'm just going to become your GM and just say like, Excuse me, I would like to shop Sal Perez. Could I please? And let's just look for a single player, all players. Let's just, like, can we get rid of him, or people like this contract is gross? Oh, shoot. Yeah. No, you can actually get rid of him. Yeah, you can actually trade him for, like, decent players. So yeah. Yeah, I'd be doing this, guys. I'd be trading Sal Perez. What if we just wanted, like, a prospect package? Oh, they want additional players from me. But this is a pretty good prospect. You're not a good enough catcher, but yeah, they're offering me pretty good prospects. The Orioles are willing to give me an 18-year-old. Look at this guy. I don't think the 18-year-old is what the Royals need right now. We want guys way further up in the system. But oh, that's fun. This is a lot of fun. Yeah, man, the number 83 prospect in baseball right here, Malcolm Nunez. No, he's a first baseman. That sucks. But anyways, kind of going off the script here. But you know, a little preview of my Royals sim here for you. But you know, I could also be the Orioles. I'll probably mess around with an Orioles sim eventually. I don't know if I'll do it on the channel, but just because I think they're really fun. So, you know, Orioles number 3, Tigers 2, Royals 1, leaning heavily towards the Royals. Let me know what you guys think, why I'm wrong, why I'm right. No, I'm not going to be the Rays. No, I'm not going to be the A's. No, I'm not going to be the Rockies. Yes, the Mariners. I was talking to my Patreons about this recently, about my criterion. Somebody says, why not the Mariners? And they're an interesting team too. I don't know. They actually are super fun. And I don't know why I didn't pick them. I think I can't necessarily give you a good reason why, because they're kind of in a similar spot, I think. Now, they did go out. They've already gone out and they got Suarez and Winker and Ray. I think that's kind of part of it, probably. They've already made some strikes. But they have the best farm system in baseball, according to Out of the Park. They've got 4 of the top 14 prospects, 5 of the top nice 69. So, you know, that's another team. But nah, I think I'm leaning Royals still, even though I am a huge fan of Seattle music and Seattle as a city. Anyways, thank you for watching. I will be back with much more Out of the Park 23 content. So I will talk to you guys then.